What's up, everyone? It is your girl Gelbeauty-QM here, aka Grace, and today we're going to use some of my favorite Sigma products to talk to you about the anniversary sale that started a couple of days ago. So it started on the 18th. Today is the 20th when I'm getting a chance to film this. My package from Sigma that they so kindly sent me came on the 18th, but I was at work, and then the next day Adriangameover had a track meet. So it's literally the first day I got a chance to break into this box and share with you all what they sent me. So I'm super excited about it. I am actually wearing a couple of things. I'm not even in the front. So they sent me the 3D HD blender. I have been wanting to try this out like forever. And as you can see, I have used just about every single, I have used every single angle there is to do this foundation review or battle that you should see coming up soon. But I have on some of my other favorite Sigma products too, and I'm going to put on some more of my favorite Sigma products with you all. So y'all know I live for these soft focus powders. I have the shade Honey. That's the one I have underneath my eyes now for this flawless under eye that you see that looks soft, blurred, and magical. And then I have the shade Cinnamon, which is the one that I put on my face to give the rest of the soft, blurred effects to the face. Because tell me I don't look soft, blurred. No one's listening. No one believes you. I mean, look how flawless the beat is with these powders. I told y'all I love those powders for underneath the eyes. I compared it to other things as well in my collection to give you all like a whole dupe situation, because it's another powder I use that's way more expensive than the Sigma ones. And then Sigma's having 40% off right now when you use code Gelbeauty. You could get a discount. There are certain things you can't get a discount on though, so let me get those out the way now. The influencer collab, so I know I love my girl Karen Harris too, but you can't use my code to get a discount on Karen's influencer set or any of the other influencer sets or palettes that they have. You can't use it on the Disney collection or the new soft coverage collection. So those are just some things to keep in mind. If you were looking to get those things, they're not going to be on discount. They're regular price. You got to understand the brand just launched them, what, like 7, 8, less than 10 days ago. So they're not going to want to discount those. Those are just going to have to be regular price, unfortunately. But other than that, you can get a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, for example, they sent me another one of the Sigma switches, which I was super excited about, because, like, I'll forget to wash it, and then it'll be, like, you know, have a whole bunch of glitter in it. Now, I did wash it today, so I can show it to you all. This is what she looks like. I still sometimes see little reflects of glitter in it, even though I washed it. But it's just great for people like me who have to make lots of eyeshadow content, because y'all know them color versus muted videos. Like, I got to use 40 and 50 different brushes, which is why I have a lot of Sigma brushes for eyes. But this is great for someone who doesn't, again, like to wash their brushes every day, or just wants to spot clean and use a certain brush that they don't have that many of. So I'm so glad that they sent another one of those over. I was super excited. Now, the thing I was most excited about, I'm not even gonna lie, is the deluxe blending brush set. I bought one of these because I saw my girl Karen Harris and Angelica Nikovic get this in PR, and I was like, I love the majority of the brushes in there. I need it. So this will be the time to take advantage of this, because this is a pretty pricey one, but with the 40% off, honey, it's definitely a deal for you. So I definitely recommend that you pick this one up. I have those brushes out because that's what we're going to use on my eyes today. So it has a E40 Max in it. Sorry, this is the E40 Max and this is the E40. So as you can see, it's a little bit longer than the other one. It's more fluffier than that one. That's the difference between this being the E Max 40 and then the just E40 general. Then they have it. There's one missing out of here that I'm supposed to have. This is the medium tapered blending brush, the E49. Then I have the E45. This is one of my favorites to put in my crease work, because you can see it fits right in this little crease perfectly. I'll definitely be using this one today. I don't know about the medium. We'll have to see about that one, because to me that one's just a little bit bigger, but if you have bigger eyes, it's good for you in that sense. Then there's the detailed blending E27, which is the baby version of the E25 here, the classic. As you can see, they're the same height, but it's just a little bit smaller than the other one, if you can see that. And then I have my diffuse crease brush. That's good. Like I'm saying, if this is good for diffusing brushes in the crease, Jesus. This is good for diffusing colors in the crease when you want a light wash of color, but it's a very pigmented color. I would definitely recommend this for you, the E38, just because it's going to diffuse it like it says. And then if you want to get even detail in the crease, there's a detailed diffuse crease brush. I'm pretty sure that's the E38. No, that's the E... Hold on. Because that's not in the set, but it is just one of my favorites to use. Here it is. The Detail Diffuse Crease is the E33, so if you want to diffuse color right in the crease of your eye, it's good for that. As you can see, it's blending perfectly in that area. These are some of my favorites as well, so I'll most likely be using this. We'll have to see about how many colors I'm using. I'm using a more neutral palette though, believe it or not, so you know, we might not do that, because when I truly thought about this after I had given it away to Dion. So okay, a little bit of story time. I gave this palette to Dion when they initially had sent me PR for the first time, but then I was like, they have the new cool neutrals coming out, and I wanted to see how this was going to compare to that. And then I was like, this could be a good alternative for people who want to pay the high price of the Natasha Denona Gold palette and don't care about the couple of pops of color in it like I do, which made me buy the palette. So I was like, let me go ahead and have them send me these Ambiance palettes. So we'll be using the Ambiance palette in today's video to show you how similar it is to the Natasha Denona Gold palette. I think I left it here. If I didn't, I'll pop a picture up the side where I like makeshift them together so you can see that they have pretty similar color stories, or I might just put a little reel over my face where I'm talking right now so you can see that both the palettes do have pretty similar colors to them, and that, you know, like if you don't want to pay Natasha Denona prices and they have a sale right now, you can get this at a steal. So let me zoom in real quick and keep light. I have not finished putting the rest of my face on yet though, so we're going to do the eyes last, just because I wanted to use some of my favorite things from Sigma, and I got a couple more new things that they sent me. So they sent me the cream blush in Corderosa. They originally sent me another shade, but I felt like it was a little bit too light, and Corderosa is, I feel like, their classic shade that works well on everybody's skin tone. I know the powder version did, so I figured the cream version would work nicely, so I'm going to use that today. And then I've never tried their lip creams. If you all remember, I have a lip oil from them, this one right here, and I actually got a backup of that as well. My mom took it from me though, so I'm glad I already had one, because she literally was just like, yeah, that's mine. And she was like wearing it yesterday when we were at my son's track meet. But they sent me the shade Numad. Y'all know I live for a mauve lip color, and these are supposed to be lip cream, so I've been wanting to try some more stuff from them. So I was planning on picking some of these things up during the sale, but since they so kindly sent it to me, I was like, we'll try it in today's video. So y'all know my classic staple from them is a bronzer. Another thing that I love from them. Y'all, I have like 2 of these, and as you can see, this has been loved. Like, you don't even see where it says Sigma written on it anymore, because it's supposed to be down there at the bottom. That's how much I have used this. You can clearly see the dent right there. Don't play. Like, this is my go-to bronzer. I'm telling y'all, it just blends so effortlessly and it's so nice. I wear the shade Deep if anyone cares. If you're more of Dion's skin tone, then you would wear the shade Dark. Then I have the highlighter in Golden Hour. It's just a classic like gold highlighter, if you will, but it's still a really nice product, so I want to use it today as well. Now, I don't know what happened to my bronzer brush. I swore I brought it with me, but apparently I did not, so I'm gonna just use this F35. This is the tapered highlighter brush. This is one of my favorite highlighter brushes from them. However, I made sure I brought my F03 brush, which is my actual super favorite highlighter brush from them, because I feel like it hits the cheekbones perfectly. This one to me is more tapered for when I'm looking for a softer look. If I want concentrated look at the cheekbone shine from a million miles away, I'm going to use the F03. So we're just going to use this for bronzer today. But I love this bronzer. Like 9 times out of 10 when I'm wearing bronzer, if I don't have to test new bronzer, I'm wearing this bronzer. It just blends out so effortlessly and looks so nice on the skin. I'm hoping in the future they come out with one more deeper shade though, just because I feel like anybody who's darker than I am might not be able to use this particular color. So that's the only thing I would critique about this bronzer, because it blends beautifully, it looks beautiful on the skin. I don't have any issues with that. I just want more people to be able to try it. So, like, I don't know if Too Much Mouth can wear the shade. I know Nima Tang and Lupita Nyong'o would not be able to wear the shade. So it's like, I want more people to be able to experience this bronzer, which is why I want them to come up with one more shade, just one more deeper shade that will work for people who are of a deeper skin tone. But it's an amazing bronzer, and y'all know it's a staple and go-to for me. So Look how chiseled and nice it looks. I didn't even use the right brush. Imagine if I used the right brush. But brushes are supposed to be used for whatever you feel like using it for. And now that I've used it this way and I think it actually looks pretty nice, I might use it again as a bronzer brush. Imagine that. Now we're going to get this as a highlighter. So I'm going to take Golden Hour here and just show y'all how amazing it's about to look on the cheekbones with this F03. I mean, look at that. It's giving a gorgeous glow and it's placing it right on the cheekbone where I want it to be. Now I probably should put on the cream blush before this, but now I'm like questioning if we should use the cream blush in here or not, because I'm like, I feel like it might not go with the eyes. So I think I'm gonna put the eyes on first and then see how I feel about it. But I mean, the perfect concentration right on the cheekbone, and then how gorgeous this color looks on my skin tone. But we all know gold and bronzy shades look really nice on medium, tan, and deep skin tones. So are you really surprised? I'm living for this glow though. Like, I'm living for the glow. I mean, look at that, y'all. Like, I feel like I'm an old school beauty guru with all this going on. I did use a couple other brushes for this. Of course, I had to use the classic staple F80. This to me is just a go-to. I feel like everyone should have. If you like to wear powder foundation, I feel like this is the brush for you, because if you use their powder brush, it's nice, but it's not going to give you full coverage. If you're a full coverage girl like myself, you need to have an F80 in your life. I literally used this today, which is why it's dirty, to put on the shade Cinnamon. So the setting powder Cinnamon, I used it all over the face with this brush to build up my face. And I think it looks stunning. So now on to this eyeshadow palette, girl. So I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to try to keep it simple. But I'm going to take their eyeshadow primer because I'm using neutral colors, so I don't feel the need to have to use a white base. So I have the shade, what is the shade of this eyeshadow base? Radiance. And we're going to try this on the eye today and see where it takes us. And I will be using brushes that are in that set that I showed you all, because they have some of my favorite brushes in that set. And I'm going to take Makeup Shayla's collection brush, the large shader E60, just to blend out my eyeshadow base. Because this is the brush I use every time I blend out my eyeshadow base. I'll either use this, or if it's dirty, then I'll find another one. But as a general rule, I prefer to use this one. I think she uses it for something different, but again, like I told y'all at the beginning, brushes are subjective. You should use them for whatever you feel like, girl. This is a pretty nice eyeshadow base. If I was a person who did a lot of neutral eyeshadows, I would probably use it more. But as y'all know, I don't use that many neutral eyeshadow neutral eyeshadow colors. And because of the type of eyeshadow I do use, which is bright and colorful, I need a white base to blink out the lids to make sure the color shows as impactful as it's supposed to. So it's not that I don't like the product, it's just because I'm more of a colorful makeup girl, I have to have a white base to make sure everything shows up nicely on me. Now when I use my mauves and when I use like neutral tones like this every once in a full moon, I obviously do use this. I just can't use it regularly because I don't regularly use neutral tone shades. But I wanted to compare this and see how it's going to feel based upon me having had my Natasha Denona gold palette for a long time, and see how similar of a look we can get. So I'm going to start off with this shade right here, this yellowish type shade, and see how I feel about that. And this is a Sigma E40. This is the original one, not the Max. I find the Max to be a little bit too big for me, so I just stick to my classic E40. But like I said, I feel like sometimes the Max ones are for people who have bigger eyes, so they can have a product to use or a brush to use that they don't feel is too small for their eye shape. Because some of them I feel like could be possibly too small. for certain eye shapes, and that's why they do that. Make bigger ones. Which is nice because, you know, they shouldn't have to try to struggle with smaller brushes or feel like they're not included. So to me, it's like a inclusive beauty type thing with them making the E Max. Or the E40 Max. But, so I'm liking this color. It's cute. And I feel like it's definitely giving the remnants of that honey shade that is in the Natasha Denona Gold palette. That's another reason I picked it, because I was like, I remember there being like a goldish honey shade in there. Now this one does put a little bit more orangish gold, whereas I feel like this one right here might pull true to that color. So let me swatch that one real quick and see. Yeah, that one's definitely, from swatching it, reminded me more of the shade I was thinking about. So I think I might put a little bit of that as well. That shade is called Bask, and I started off with Daylily. So I think I'm going to just put it right underneath there to bring a little bit more mustardiness out of that shade. Yeah, so put it right here and dust it. So far I'm liking it, but y'all know I already like Sigma shadows. I just brought my Beauty and the Beast palette over here because I want to do a battle of the Beauty and the Beast palettes. I bought the one from ColourPop and I want to compare it to the one from Sigma and see like how the quality is going to hold up against it. So that's something you should see coming soon. Yeah, I'm liking this cute little honey moment we have going on here. Now I'm going to take my Sigma E45 small tapered blending brush and I'm going to go into this red shade called Summer Solstice, this one right here. Now I will say this palette is a little bit more warm toned than Natasha, so I'm thinking maybe I should pick another shade over that one because I kind of want to have like a little bit of smokiness going on with this look. So I think I'm actually going to take the shade Enriched instead, this one right here that's above the gold shade. I was thinking about putting on a lid this one and work with that. Because it's giving to me more of that Natasha vibe. And I'm trying to see how many dissimilar tones I can use that will give Natasha vibes to prove my point. But I didn't want to literally like, you know, do a battle or whatever. I was like, I can just make a look. I feel like you could make that's similar to the colors in the Natasha Denona palette. Oh yeah. I did think it was going to be a little bit deeper, but I'm feeling like we're going to be able to build it up and make it the depth I was looking for. Because I wanted depth in the crease and then I wanted like depth on the outer V, which is why I'm going to use the darker brown on the outer V. Oh yeah, it's definitely building up nicely, as I expected it to. And Rich is giving the nice depth I was hoping it would give. So if you weren't looking to spend $1 million on Natasha Denona gold palette, because I know a lot of people said they really liked it, they just couldn't crack down and pay that price, then I feel like this palette would be good for you, because Sigma has nice quality when it comes to eyeshadows, and then you can use code Gelbeauty7 and get a discount on this palette, and it's giving you a lot of similar tones that are in the Natasha Denona gold palette without the Natasha Denona gold price. Now we know this isn't going to be like my favorite palette from Sigma. My favorite palette from Sigma would probably be the New Mods palette, which I got them to send me the lip cream to. I will put on in a few minutes. But so far so good. She's looking cute. So we're gonna take a couple more brushes from this set. So I'm going to use the E25 blending brush for my outer V work, and then I'm going to use the E27 detail blending brush to put the shimmer on my lid. So we're going to put the shade Sunspot, that darkest brown, on the outer V. As you see here. And I love using my E25 for the outer V. I know a lot of people like to use it for crease work, but I don't know. Like, to me, it just screams outer V brush to me. I don't know why. That's what I use mine for. I'm not judging you if you do use it in the crease to blend out shadows in your crease. I just prefer a more pointed brush when it comes to crease work. So that's what I use. But as you can see, the browns are like two different tones. And I'm liking that too, because it's like if you like warm tones, they got you covered with the warm brown I'm putting on the outer V. But if you like a more like neutralish cool tone, they have that as well. That's the one I put in the crease. So that's the reason I wanted to use both of them, so you could see like it's not two just like similar brown shades. Like one has more neutral coolness to it, and then one is more warm for the people who like that. And then that way you have both in the palette, so depending on what mood you're in, you don't have to go to another palette like, oh, this is all warm tone palette. I wanted a cool, but I wanted to use the gold and the ambiance palette. You know, like I wanted to show that they have versatility. Okay, y'all, so we're going to take another brush from Makeup Shayla's collection, which one is this? The E14, the flat brush. And that's what I use to cut the crease with glitter glue. So our Sigma brushes definitely get work over here. It's only one other, I think, brush. It's only two other brushes I use. Majority of the time I'm using like Sigma eye brushes. Like I feel like they're just the best. Like when I first started out in makeup, like people used to talk about Sigma and Morphe, and we saw what happened with Morphe, but you know, people still to this day are talking about using Sigma. So I love me a good Sigma brush. I'm gonna take this shade Sunflower, that bright gold I showed you all. That was underneath the shade enriched that I put in the crease, and we're gonna put that all over the lid. I don't usually use this as a lid brush because, you know, I prefer one that isn't as fluffy to put shimmers on the lid. So I would normally use I'm pretty sure it's an E55. They have a shading brush that's dedicated to it, but you know, I want to stick with the set I told you I was gonna stick with, so that's why I went ahead and, you know, use that one. But tell me, honey, that gold, I might actually be able to get used to this look. This might be a go-to look when I have to leave for work early, because on Thursdays I have to leave to go to my job earlier than usual. Like I think like an hour and a half earlier than usual. So like I could see myself making this my go-to look for those days, because it's gonna be simple. It's not gonna take that long. I can put like 2-3 eyeshadows on, rub this on the lid, look put together, and not have to worry about, you know, being late. So yeah, I can see me using this palette as my go-to palette on Thursdays to make sure I get out to work on time and look presentable. Cause I don't have time to be doing a whole bunch of detail work and blending on Thursday. I'm like rushing, because if you all don't know, I work at night, so I have a lot of, like, you know, I have to get through basically the rush hour traffic in downtown Chicago, because I work an hour away from my house. So I'm like, I need something like this where it's like I can rub it on real quick. Now I'm doing more detail with you than I normally would do if I was in a rush, obviously, because it's a video. But I would have just, you know, grabbed 2 or 3 brushes, did a cute little blend out on the outer V, rub this all over my lid. I might have put on glitter glue and rubbed with my finger and just did this part real quick and then went on to my base to make sure I got done what I need to get done. But yes, I'm definitely feeling this. This is also a good dupe for the honey palette from Urban Decay too, now that I think about it. So this is a dupe for a couple of palettes. So I have one more brush I need to use. It's this. So I'm gonna use the pencil brush from my inner corner shade, the E30, and I'm gonna take the shade, what is it, Luster right here, so we can see how that one works. Because I feel like I used a pretty metallic shade, and I want to see how the satins are working. And to me, this seems like it's a little bit more of a satin finish. So I want the gold to still be the star of the show and not the inner corner try to take over. So that's why I'm picking a more subtle inner corner shade, so you can still look at the, you know, eyes is the main attraction. So this is the finished look with the eyes. I say it looks pretty nice. I wanted to use a palette I feel like the majority of you all would get use out of in the video as well. So that's why I did this as opposed to something colorful like I would normally do. Because I had my Beauty and the Beast on deck and ready. And I had my Untamed palette on deck and ready as well. Now I don't think I'm going to put on any blush today, just because I feel like the blush is going to clash with what we got going on with the eyes. However, I will swatch the cream blush that they sent me in the shade Portorosa, just so you can see what it looks like on some of my skin tone if you're curious. But yeah, I think I'm going to skip on this today. I will use it in another video. It seems like it dries down to a powder finish, because when I got done swatching, it didn't feel as creamy. It feels like it's drying down to powder. I like that. So that's the shade. I feel like with their Portorosa powder blush on top, it'll work out for me nicely. So that's why I picked it. But the fact that it's drying down, I like. Yeah, that's really nice. It is drying down to a powder finish. So I might not have to use as much powder with it because it dries down to a powder finish. So as far as I know, they don't have any lip liners. So I'm just going to have to grab a lip liner and put a lip on real quick. Take that in the bathroom and sharpen it, because honey, it's not giving. But I'll swatch the shade on the back of my hand. Okay, y'all know this is definitely my type of color. I mean, look at that. That is definitely my type of color. I was going to do a monochromatic moment and do like the new Mod palette, since I knew I had this Moon Mod lipstick, but I was just like, no. So. Ooh. Definitely feels like a nice nourishing foamer on the lips. And it is going with this eye better than I expected it to. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling the makeup, y'all. I'm feeling it. So this is the finished look. I must say, the palette did surprise me, because I didn't expect to, you know, like be crazy about it or like it a lot. But y'all heard me, like I can see myself wearing this to work on Thursdays when I have to rush to work. Of course, y'all know I love my Sigma brushes. Just about every video I do, I'm using their brushes the good majority of the time. So this is just the set that I like, has the most brushes that I use the most frequently, which is why I wanted to make sure that they sent me back up so I have some more, because like I said, those colorful versus muted videos, honey, they take a lot of brushes. So this will immediately go in my brush cup and be added to my collection for me to have enough brushes to do what I need to do. So excited about that. But thank you to Sigma for sending over all these lovely things. And make sure you all check out the Sigma Beauty anniversary sale. It's going on from the 18th. So like I said, it started Thursday till the 30th. So you got a good amount of time to shop. If you didn't get paid this week, girl, you got enough time to where you should be able to get something sometime next week before you get paid again, hopefully. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you're all the diamonds. Comment down below and tell me your favorite Sigma product, because y'all know what some of my favorites are. Besides the brush that I showed you, I live for these powders. They are amazing. I would definitely recommend that you pick up these powders if you like a soft focus blurred finish to the under eye or whatever part of the face you choose your color to put on. Definitely the bronzer, y'all know the bronzer. I definitely say get the bronzer. The highlighter looks really nice as well, but the bronzer is just, it's my love affair with Sigma. The bronzer, not to mention the brush that I showed you, and I love their eyeshadow palettes as well. So if you see a color story that you like, this would be a good time to take advantage. Not that their palettes are high, but you know, like, who doesn't love a good sale and who doesn't love a good eyeshadow palette? I know I do. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you're all the diamonds. Make sure you subscribe. My membership down below if you're interested in checking that out. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.